you're about to see is real. For reasons that will become clear momentarily, we ask that you do not look directly at the plasma. For your safety and the safety of others seated nearby, please constrain your view to the distraction window provided. Again, do not look directly at the plasma. On 13 April 1971, our engineering teams made an unusual discovery. If you begin with a simple image and overlay multiple copies of that image such that the calculated value of every pixel is the absolute value of the difference between the previous and current value, a strange emergent property begins to appear around the 7th iteration. Here we're adding layers slowly at first, but after the 7th layer, we'll add them more rapidly. As you can see, the overall image begins to take on properties not present in the original image. A roiling, clustered, wood-grain-like texture begins to emerge. This texture becomes more fine-grained as the number of layers increases. Research into this particular project was temporarily halted on 15 April 1971 after a number of lab personnel began reporting unusual nightmares at levels beyond 16 iterations. A statistically significant number of engineers, particularly senior engineers, claim to have seen the face of the ancient Babylonian god Marduk, son of Ea, slayer of Tiamat. This god, they claimed, was filled with anger, lived inside a glowing green maze, and would smite any human who chose to see the plasma beyond 32 layers. For safety reasons, we will not exceed 32 layers in this demonstration. If we begin adding layers with a small amount of color variation, an iridescent effect will begin to propagate throughout the image. On the advice of our engineering team, a chimpanzee test subject was briefly used in place of a senior engineer to observe the plasma at a depth beyond 32 layers. Unfortunately, the chimpanzee was unable to relay what he saw, and later became psychotic. As a workaround, the same engineering group later equipped a duck with a vectorization camera, secured with duct tape, and allowed the duck to view the plasma beyond 32 layers. The following footage was recorded from the camera before the duck spontaneously disappeared and reappeared at an unspecified location 18 hours later. Research efforts were ultimately halted on 17 April 1971 following the unexplained deaths of a senior engineer and a chimpanzee. Both were rumored to have seen the plasma beyond 32 layers. Efforts are currently underway to debrief the duck and recover the data recorded by the duck's vector camera. At frame 859, the unmistakable image of Marduk, son of Ea, slayer of Tiamat, can be seen. From this, we can safely assume that Marduk lives inside the maze, which can only be accessed by viewing the plasma at a depth beyond 32 layers. A separate effort has begun to recreate the maze from the recovered data and train individuals to navigate the maze in order to find and destroy Marduk. By doing so, our hope is that differential plasma will then become safe for human consumption. Despite the threat posed by this discovery, we hope that you found this presentation informative. For those interested in learning more, we look forward to additional comments and questions regarding this discovery. Thank you.